Welcome back to Daytona for the Gatorade Duels to set the field for Sunday's Daytona 500.
Got a few takers under this caution. About 8 cars, including Tony Stewart, Dale Jarrett, David Rudiman, Travis Kvapil, David Gilliland, Eric McClure, John Andretti, and Robbie Gordon all electing to come to pit road.
And you got to believe, Larry, if this thing ever goes back to green and stays green and probably go to the end, that could pay off big time having those little wee bit better tires than everybody else.
Looks like a little repair on the left front of David Gilliland's car, the Yates Racing number 38.
There's Robbie Reiser up on the pit box with Chip Boland for Matt Kenseth,
who's now taking a managerial role at Roush Fenway.
Should we see what Boris said?
See what he's thinking.
All right. Thanks, guys. Boris, we followed you during qualifying. You talked about it being a mental nightmare. Now you're atop David Rudiman's pit box. I guess you know exactly your scenario to make the 500.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to finish in the top 2 or the go homer, so I'm his new best friend, and it's nerve-wracking. I mean, it's just, you want to make the Daytona 500 so bad, and, you know, my Slurpee 711 car was so good in the race, I just lost the right rear tire and got behind and couldn't really find any help out there, so hopefully maybe we'll get a little lucky and get in.
Good luck, Boris. Mike?
He'll need to be lucky. He was good enough to post a decent time trial speed, but only if Rudiman races in. And you see David Rudiman right there, down there at 17. So only if Rudiman races in would Boris Said take the final spot in the field on time trial speed. Matt?
Mike, a lot of conversation from the spotters and drivers concerning something a little unique. If you look at our HD shots here on speed, you can see a lot of dust in the air. That's the oil dry. Kevin Harvick's spotter, Billy O'Day, said on the previous caution, Kev, I don't know if you've noticed, but the oil dry this year is different. He's like, how so? He goes, it's a lot whiter, but also it's supposed to help pick up a lot of the synthetic oil that a lot of the teams are using now that we had problems with last year. But they're also saying that it sticks to the windshield. That's exactly what Harvick said. He goes, I'll tell you one thing, it may be different, but it sure sticks to the windshield. And that's what Jeff Gordon just said, too.
One thing I noticed, Matty, was how much more of it they're using. The last 2 cautions I've seen, and you can see here on our screen, that's a lot more of the stay dry than they normally would put down. And I'm not sure if it's because it's different, new, or what it is, but they're certainly using more of it.
A lot of cleanup to do, so this field will be red flagged. They will stop them on the backstretch. Watch the cover over the lens on the roof cam of Kevin Harvick change. Oh, quite a difference.
And unfortunately, he can't reach out there and change that windshield. The pit crew can pull a tear off. We can change that lens there, the cover over that, but he can't change what he's seeing out of his windshield right now.
Well, there's a lot of dust flying around, Matt, but where's smoke?
Well, he hit pit road, made a stop, and the reason, it wasn't anything about the mystery engine issue that they had been trying to diagnose, which appears now to have gone away. It was the top off. They were good to go if the race distance was the official race distance. If we go into an overtime situation, they were going to be in trouble.
We're getting a report also that Travis Kvapil, who came to pit road that time, too fast exiting. He'll have to go the tail end of the longest line.
Right now, Patrick Carpentier and Ken Schrader are in the race-in positions. John Andretti, David Rudiman, Jarrett, and McClure trying to move up. There's the field waiting to get restarted. You see the shadow of the DirecTV blimp floating right across the field. They're getting some great pictures from DirecTV today, and you can get the most sports in HD on DirecTV. Glad to have them with us. Wednesday, Larry's favorite show returns for an all-new season with new rules. More racing, more drama, and more at stake. Don't miss the season premiere of Pinks, Wednesday at 9 Eastern as part of Premiere Week on Speed.
I just know somewhere, somehow, some way Hammond's going to get his hand in that deal some way.
But, Larry, I just don't see how it could get any more exciting.
I agree.
Wow, look at the vision issue that Kyle Busch has to deal with through all that speedy dry on the tear-off. Let's check with Steve.
Mike with Paul Andrews, crew chief for Michael Waltrip. Question is, Paul, I heard Michael say the car is perfect. He loves his race car. Will you guys go for the win, or will you sacrifice that to help Dale Jarrett get in the 500?
Well, right now, still the plan is to help Dale Jarrett. We got Rudeman back there right now, so maybe the two of them can work together, and we can still work up front. You know, we'll just have to see how it goes. But we definitely want to help Jarrett get in the race, whatever it takes there.
All right, thank you, Paul. Let's go to Dick.
Kenson has run toward the front for this entire event. His crew chief is Chip Bolin. Now, we know you're fast. What's going to take to win this thing?
Not wreck.
That's a good start.
Car is a little loose, and he's just trying to keep it in control out front and keep the speed and keep his position. We should be just fine.
Now, you've got some experience here at Daytona. Are you comfortable in this new role as crew chief?
Yeah, I got some pretty good support over here to my right, too, so we'll be just fine.
All right, good luck today. Matt.
Well, here on top of the condominium, also called the 24 pit box, a great jumbotron behind you, so you've got all the views. What have you and your team learned so far during this duel?
We've learned the Speedway's been a little more excitement than we were looking for, but, you know, I can't say enough about everybody at Hedger Motorsports, the guys in the DuPont Chevrolet. It's been great. You know, we brought a car down here for the shootout, performed well. This car ran well in single car runs, and it's driving real well here today. So hopefully we can back up Mr. Hendrick's record so far this week.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Hendrick, right alongside here, for you, able to breathe a lot easier?
Oh, yeah, man. You know, it's just so much pressure, and then to come down here and but him to win those first two races, the first race, but then, yeah, it's feels a lot better. Feels a lot better today anyway.
Well, he is batting 1,000, a pole, a duel, and a Budweiser shootout.
Now, the Hendrick cars were split 3 in the first race and 1 Jeff Gordon in this race, while all 3 Gibbs cars and all 3 of Michael Waltrip's cars are in this race. Reason being, the field for the 150s are set placing 18 of the top 35 in owner points in one race and 17 in the other, and then the go-or-go-homers based on speed. So there's really no seeding to put all of one team's cars in one and one in the other. It works out that way based on last year's point standings and then on time trial speeds.
What do you say we get back to what we came down here to do?
Would that be the race?
Let's go racing,
You
boys.
got it. You got it.
Dadgum.
Michael Waltrip leading. Patrick Carpentier and Ken Schrader are right now in the transfer spots. You can follow them across the top of the screen. Drivers in the yellow position numbers like John Andretti. Now David Rudeman is shown in green because he has a time trial speed to fall back on, not because he's running in one of those transfer positions. So on this restart, for the first time this season, and certainly not the last, we're going to give you the sounds of speed.